Okay. All right, mic check, 3, 2, 1. Hello everyone, I'm meteorologist Matt Gingery here at KSPR 33. We are looking at a live shot here of Table Rock Lake. A few cumulus clouds here in the distance. Did have a few rain showers in there an hour or so ago, and those have since moved out of the area. Currently, right now in Springfield, we are at 99 degrees, and at dew point 56 degrees, so the air outside is relatively dry with the humidity right now running on the order of 24%, and the winds are southerly at around 3 miles per hour. And temperatures across the region right now, you notice this pocket right here. You've got temperatures in the 77 in Branson, 76 down there in Harrison, and that's because we had a few rather strong showers and thunderstorms develop out ahead of an outflow boundary that pushed to the south and helped to keep those temperatures down. And as you look outside of that area there, temperatures are running on the order of the upper 90s to the low 100s, with 103 here in Joplin, 103 up here in Osceola as well. And as we look at the current satellite and radar feature, you can see these showers and thunderstorms sort of jump over the Springfield area, unfortunately, and shift down to the south here. And some of those were quite strong down here. We did have a few severe thunderstorm warnings down here towards the Harrison area, around Mountain Home, and those thunderstorms continue to maintain their strength, and not sure if we're going to get any development on the back side of this tonight. The cold front is still in our area, so the possibility does exist, but I would say the chances of that happening are fairly slim. We do have a heat advisory in place, and that went into place here recently, and it does go into effect until Sunday at 7 p.m., and I would expect the possibility of that being extended through additional days into the next week time frame. Your temperatures across the region right now pretty much show temperatures running on the order of the upper 90s to around 100, 105 degrees. And the cool spots that you see here, Booth Hill and then close to us, are because showers and thunderstorms managed to develop in those regions, keeping the temperatures a little bit cooler. Fortunate for them. And your dew points right now, running on the order of the mid-50s, not quite as moist as we have been in the last few days. You can see most of that moisture has shifted off to the east, and we are rather dry here, so the burn bans are still in place in many areas, so you want to follow the proper precautions when you do any outdoor burning and such. The next 3 days we're going to see those temperatures running on the order of around 100 degrees, and we have 99 progged for your Friday, as well as through Saturday and Sunday, temperatures around 100 degrees with no chance of rainfall at all through that time period. In fact, it's going to be several days before we see another shot at rain. In your satellite and radar, you can see this frontal boundary draped through the state, and it really doesn't separate much at all. I mean, the temperatures on either side of this, there's not much difference at all in the temperatures. It's more or less just a diffuse boundary that's aiding in a little bit of lift, just enough lift to produce these scattered showers and thunderstorms here just to the south of that frontal boundary. And hopefully we can get a few of those to develop in our area. Doesn't look that probable. And your current satellite and radar across the United States, you can see there is this large ridge of high pressure that continues to control the weather for us here locally. And we did have this system move through the Great Lakes with a frontal boundary that draped off to the southwest along that, produced enough energy to create some showers and thunderstorms. And well, off to the west, we're still in that monsoon pattern here across the Intermountain West as far as Arizona and areas such as that. So they're getting some usual, typical rainfall this time of year out in those areas. And looking at this summertime ridge here setting up, and that ridge is pretty much going to control our weather for the next several days. And it looks as if towards the end of next week we could see this ridge break down on the Tuesday, after the Tuesday-Wednesday time frame next week, and give us the possibility of another shot of showers and thunderstorms. Futurecast, you can see it shows those showers and thunderstorms that had developed. This front will push on through. You won't see any difference at all in the temperatures behind that front. We will still have intense heat. Like I had mentioned, that heat advisory will remain in place, so we will experience some rather intense heat. So you want to follow the proper precautions if you're working outside. You want to take frequent breaks, you want to hydrate, and you want to wear light clothing if you're outside dealing with this heat. And you know what? If you don't have to go outside, folks, hey, stay inside at all possible and just enjoy some air conditioning. Go to the mall, go to the movies, any place that you can enjoy the air conditioning to get out of this heat. Your future temps through your Friday show those temperatures getting back up to around 100 degrees. And I think this model is a little bit underdone as far as the highs. We're going to see them up around 100 degrees. Tonight, we're going to leave in that shot for maybe a scattered shower or thunderstorm. Most of this will remain south, and it will, once we lose the daytime heating, those showers and thunderstorms will say bye-bye. Winds will be northeast at 5 miles per hour. In your 7-day forecast, you can see there where we could see that change Tuesday and Wednesday, a slight cool down, if you will. Up to that point, temperatures rather hot. In fact, Monday, 102 for a high. But as we get into the Tuesday-Wednesday time frame, we're looking at the possibility of showers and thunderstorms as the next disturbance rolls through. And we cool down, if you want to call it that, to 96 for Wednesday, and back up again to 98 for your Thursday, with lows through the period in the low 70s. And that's your forecast here at KSPR 33. You like it? Oh, yeah. I want to read my notes a little bit here. I kind of did a forecast discussion here. Cloud cover, outflow boundaries, leftover from weak short wave aloft. Okay, long term, keep showing the relentless ridge and heat wave continuing. 100 105 heat through middle. Additional heat advisory. Models do show a break down the ridge towards the end of the next week. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Good evening, everyone. I'm Matt Gingery, meteorologist here at KSPR 33. We are currently looking at a beautiful live shot here of Table Rock Lake, and I'm sure those lake levels might be down a tad with the drought conditions that we are still dealing with here locally. Temperatures today were hot, and you can see here in the background there are a few cumulus clouds. They did have a few showers and thunderstorms down in the Branson area today, and some of those did produce some heavy rainfall for them, up to 2 inches under some of those storms. Currently right now in Springfield, we are at 99 degrees. We did reach 100 today. Wasn't sure if we were going to make it to that point. We did get just enough clearing to get to 100. That dew point at 56. The air is dry, and your relative humidity at 24%, and we have a southerly wind at 3 miles per hour, and your temperatures across the region, you can notice right here where the temperatures are rather comfortable. 77 in Branson, 76 in Harrison, and that's where we have that area of showers and thunderstorms that did develop and push into that area, and they got the beneficial rainfall and cloud cover to go along with that, and it reflects that pretty clearly here on this temperature map. But if you look outside that, hey, not very many of us did see any relief, with a lot of temperatures exceeding that 100-degree mark. And here in Joplin, 103 degrees and 102 up there in Warsaw. So very, very intense heat, folks. You want to take the proper precautions when working outside or dealing with this heat in any way, shape, or form. Your satellite and radar right now, you can see that we just missed those showers and thunderstorms. They had formed. There was a line earlier today to our northwest, and it really looked like we were going to get some beneficial rain out of that and some potential cooling. And what it did was it just fell apart. before it reached the metropolitan area, and then it decided to redevelop again here along an outflow boundary to the south of Springfield, and it brought some heavy showers and thunderstorms, and at a few points we did have a few severe thunderstorm warnings. Damaging wind was the primary issue with those severe thunderstorms in the Harrison and Mountain Home area, but they did receive some beneficial rain, and they did get some beneficial cooling as well along with that. And hey, what else could you ask for when we're dealing with these heat advisories? Once again, we had a break there for a few days, and you know what? That ridge, it's back in the picture, and it looks long-term. Once again, this heat advisory goes into effect through Sunday at 7 p.m., and it almost looks certain that that will be extended even further than that. Your current temperatures regionally right now, temperatures in the 90s to around 100 degrees. You have 102 down here in Oklahoma City, 101 in Little Rock, as well as Kansas City, and 99 for Springfield. And you can pick out these cool spots here where thunderstorms help to get a little bit of relief with those temperatures. Your dew points right now, a little bit of moisture in some pockets, but for the most part across our region we're dealing with some dry air, so there likely are some burn bans in place, so you do want to follow the proper precautions when you do any outdoor burning. And your next 3 days are going to be very, very warm across the Springfield area. High for tomorrow will be 99 degrees, and Saturday and Sunday we will likely exceed the century mark with a high of 101 for your Sunday, and no rain to speak of. Of course, there's always the chance for an isolated thunderstorm, but when you talk about region-wide, they're very few and very far between. Satellite radar right now, you see this, if you want to call it cold front, more or less just a frontal boundary, diffuse at that. The temperatures behind it are actually the same as ahead of it, but it does create just enough lift in the atmosphere for some showers and thunderstorms to fire out ahead of that. And we did see that today. Unfortunately, we did not get any of that in the Springfield area. And as we look at the big board here, large area of high pressure is in control over the central part of the country, and what it's doing is it's pulling all these systems up to the north down into the Great Lakes region, where we have that system that just pushed through with that trailing cold front through our area. Just not a lot of upper dynamics to help with any thunderstorm activity across our area. It's just very few and far between, but we can go and zoom in a little bit closer and see this ridge, very strong ridge in place, and it's going to be in place for the next several days, into next week. And as we loop this in, you see that ridge not moving, not budging at all. It's going to give us very, very hot temperatures, and we'll be under that heat advisory, and burn bans will be in place. There are some hints that that ridge could break down, folks, maybe into next week time frame. And we could also see some rainfall as well with that. And Futurecast shows this front pushing on through, high pressure building back in, temperatures getting back up around 100 degrees, and not a whole lot of chances for precipitation here locally. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but unfortunately that will be the case through much of next week. And your future temps running a little bit lower than what we expect. Temperatures should be up around 100 degrees through Sunday. Tonight we're going to be fairly warm, 73. We will leave that chance for an isolated thunderstorm in the picture tonight because, like I said, there is a frontal boundary in the area. So, folks, anything can happen when you have a frontal boundary in place. We could get an isolated storm. Winds northeast at 5 miles per hour. And look at your 7-day forecast. You will see there towards the middle part of next week, we do kind of see that ridge sort of flatten out, and it'll allow a system or a disturbance to sort of rotate around the ridge axis and give us a chance of precipitation Tuesday and Wednesday. And temperatures will be relatively cooler, 96, still very, very warm. And your high for Monday, look at that, 102 degrees. Lows will be in the low 70, folks. And that's your forecast here at KSPR 33. Let's see how much more time I got. I'll do two more. Ready to go on the wall. Huh? Yeah. Good evening, everyone. I'm meteorologist Matt Gingery. We are looking at a beautiful live shot of Table Rock Lake, and just a few hours ago there was some precipitation in that view. They got a little bit of rain down there in the Table Rock Lake area, much needed rain. Unfortunately, we didn't see any here in the Springfield area. Hate to be the bearer of bad news. We look at the current conditions right now, folks. It was 99 last hour, and we thought our high was 100. And folks, this hour we're at 101 degrees. Believe it or not, this is the second time this has happened this week where we get that peak high temperature between the 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock time frame, which is very unusual. But we did reach 101, at least that's the current temperature. That dew point at 55, and that humidity is very, very low. So you want to follow the proper precautions with the burn bans in place and the heat advisory in place as well through Sunday at 7 p.m. And I'll talk about that a little bit more here in just a moment. And temperatures across the area, you see this little cool spot right here? Well, that's where we had some of those showers and thunderstorms develop and push through, and they got some beneficial cooling. Quite comfortable right now in Branson compared to the 101 in Springfield. We're at 77 degrees in Branson, 75 in Harrison, and that's wonderful temperatures, you know, compared to what we're dealing with around the area. Temperatures between 100 and 103 degrees, folks. It's very, very hot outside, and you want to take the proper precautions. You want to take breaks. You want to wear light clothing. And as we move through the weekend, you want to stay out of those peak heating hours and stay in the air conditioning. Go to the mall, go to a movie. Do something that doesn't involve being outside in the heat. And that, you know, those people working outside in construction, that's a tough one. Just hydrate. Try to start your shift a little bit earlier in the day and maybe work a split shift if it's possible. We're looking at satellite and radar, and those cool temperatures that we have down here in the Branson and Harrison area, that's because we have these showers and thunderstorms that did push through. They are south of there. And those storms at a few points were severe, and damaging winds was the primary threat with those as they pushed through. Maybe some small hail as well, and that could continue to be expected through the rest of the evening. And this cloud cover will exit our region. We could get an isolated shot of the thunderstorm. I certainly hope so, but it's starting to look pretty slim for us here in the metropolitan area. This heat advisory that I'd mentioned, this heat advisory, which could get extended into northwest Arkansas through the weekend, will go into place through Sunday. And I can almost guarantee you that it will be extended well into next week. That's the next time we're going to see any changes in this ridging pattern that we're dealing with right now. Temperatures in the region right now are running on the order of the mid-upper 90s in the few areas that we see. 102 there in OK City, 101 here in Springfield. So very, very hot, uncomfortable temperatures that we have dealt with for several weeks, folks. This has been an ongoing problem for weeks, and we haven't seen any shift in the pattern for quite some time. The good thing is, if you want to say there's a good thing to come out of any of this heat, is the fact that the air is relatively dry. 55 is our dew point here in Springfield, and running on the order of the 50s for most of us. But if you look off here to the east, this is where it gets very, very problematic when working outside or dealing with the heat, because temperatures around 100 degrees when you have a dew point of 76 degrees, that is just extreme heat and uncomfortable conditions there in Paducah, Kentucky, as well as Nashville and Memphis. You get over 70 degrees on a dew point. That's just unbearable, folks. And looking at the next 3 days, temperatures are going to be right around 100 degrees. I would say anywhere from 99 to 103 through Sunday, with mostly sunny conditions. And, we could throw in the possibility of through that 3-day period, we could see an isolated thunderstorm. It isn't out of the realm of possibilities when you get that sort of heat in the atmosphere. We could get a few popcorn showers, but they will be very few and very far between, folks. Satellite and radar right now, we see this diffuse boundary is what I'm going to call it, because it isn't really a cold front. The temperatures behind it are the same as the temperatures ahead of it. It's more or less just a convergence boundary, and we have those showers and thunderstorms developing out ahead of it that are offering a little bit of relief and cooling. And folks, if you're under one of those showers and thunderstorms, take advantage of it, because the next few days you will not be seeing any of that relief in that form anytime soon. Looking at the big board right now, we do have that large dome of high pressure here in the middle of the country, and we have these systems entering the Pacific Northwest, and they ride well up north and around and just pretty much avoid us altogether. We have these little weak boundaries that drape down from these areas of low pressure that do offer us a slight possibility of showers and thunderstorms, but for the most part we're under control of this very powerful ridge in the upper atmosphere, and it's centered over the middle part of the country, and it really doesn't go anywhere anytime soon. It will begin to sort of flatten out as we move into the middle of next week, allowing the next system to push through and give us the next shot of showers and thunderstorms. But temperatures, they will not cool off much, folks. And looking at futurecasts, we see that front push through, and our chances of rain out of that system going bye-bye, folks, unfortunately, and it will remain very, very warm behind this frontal system. And as we push through Saturday, much of the same, and your future temps, looks like they underdid the future temps just a tad. Our temperatures are going to be running on the order of around 100 degrees through Sunday for high temperatures. And tonight, going to be really muggy. We're going to keep that shot of a shower, possible thunderstorm in, since we're in close proximity to that frontal boundary. Northeast wind at 5 miles per hour and a low of 73. Your 7-day outlook, as I mentioned, Tuesday and Wednesday time frame, that ridge begins to flatten out. Temperatures are going to relatively cool down into the upper 90s with a chance for showers and thunderstorms each day, and our low temperatures will be in the low to mid 70s. That's your forecast here at KSPR 33. All right, one more and I'm done. Do a quick one. Good morning, I'm sorry. All right, 3, 2, 1. Good evening, everyone. I'm meteorologist Matt Gingery here at KSPR 33. We are looking at a live shot here of Table Rock Lake and a few cumulus clouds there in the background. They did see some showers and thunderstorms down there in the Branson area, believe it or not. Wow, up to 101 degrees right now at this hour. And folks, that's very, very hot conditions. Dew point 55. A north-northwest wind anywhere from 5 to 10 miles per hour. And if you look at the temperature map, one area here where it's relatively cool, and that's because we had some showers and thunderstorms push through this area. 77 in Branson, 75 down there in Harrison. So they did get some beneficial cooling there, and much of everybody else right around 100 degrees, folks. And there are these showers and thunderstorms. Some of those were severe, and the damaging winds were the primary issue as these storms did push through. And with the heat that we're going to be dealing with, folks, this is very important to know. We are under a heat advisory through Sunday at 7 p.m. You want to make sure you hydrate. That's very important. You want to wear light clothing. You want to avoid those peak heating hours, folks. This is very, very important, especially for those of you working outside in construction. You want to take frequent breaks. You want to maybe work a split shift, work earlier in the day. Avoid that sunshine. And if you don't have to work, you don't really want to be outside, stay in the air conditioning, go to the mall, go to a movie. Looking at temperatures across the Midwest, they're running relatively high in the upper 90s, right around 100 degrees. Few cool spots because we do have some scattered areas of showers and thunderstorms. The one good thing out of all this heat is it's relatively dry. that's helping to keep that heat index down. Right now, 55 the dew point in Springfield, 56 in Kansas City. So if there's any saving grace in this whole scenario is the fact that we do have low moisture values that's helping to keep that heat index down. Your next 3 days are going to see temperatures around 100 to 103 degrees. No relief in the near future. Moving into next week, we could see some. Your satellite and radar right now shows that cold front, if you want to call it that. It's more or less a diffuse boundary. And we do have those showers and thunderstorms. Some of those are severe, with wind being the primary threat with those. And that frontal boundary is going to move out of the area, and our chances for rain are going to disappear, folks. Satellite radar across the big board here. We have high pressure under control in the central part of the country. That's pushing all these systems way up north and down the backside into the northeastern United States. And that's draped, we're getting a few of these weak boundaries that drape to the southwest with each of these systems. Not bringing any cool air, but some rainfall. We need a ton more rainfall. We're way down for the year. So hopefully we can snap this pattern sometime soon. And the way to do that is to break down this ridge that we have been under control of for the last several weeks, the last few months. We have been under control, this powerful ridge, and over the next few days, it just doesn't go anywhere. It begins to flatten in the middle part of next week. We see another shot of rain. Looking at Futurecast, we see that cold front push out of the area. Temperatures behind it aren't going to be cooler. We're going to see temperatures around 100 to 103 degrees through your Monday, and your future temps not quite doing it where we think it should be. We should be right around 100 degrees through Saturday and to Sunday. And tonight, we're going to get down to 73 degrees. There is a shot of a thunderstorm, being that we're in close proximity to that frontal boundary northeast wind at 5 miles per hour. And your 7-day forecast, like I had mentioned, that ridge breaks down Tuesday and Wednesday. Temperatures don't cool down much. 96 for Wednesday, but not before we were around 100 to 103 degrees through Monday, folks. So be sure to take the proper precautions when dealing with this heat. And that's your forecast here at KSPR 33.